Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Let's go, baby, let's go!
From a championship backfield to your morning drive.
Hands to Hester, and Hester, yep, got it, 5 out of 5.
You're locked in to Off the Bench.
Flynn is back to throw from the end zone. Boom!
Live from the Raising Cane studio, here's Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Welcome in a Tuesday edition of Off the Bench. Taylor Sharp here with you. Alondra Villarreal, Braxton Rizzuto along for the ride as well. We got a lot to get to. LSU played a baseball game against the Kent State Golden Flashes last night. We got some LSU football news. Nick Underhill of New Orleans Football hopping on at 9:15 to talk all things New Orleans Saints. Patrick Wright, voice of your Lady Tigers, will hop on with us. Not only did Patrick do the women's basketball game on Saturday night, he did all three Friday, Saturday, Sunday of LSU's opening weekend. So we got a lot to discuss with him. He will come on with us at 8:30. But let's get a little bit of a vibe check this morning. I mean, it's a Tuesday. We always say on OTB, we turn Tuesday from the worst day of the week to the best day of the week. Alondra, how we doing this morning?
Good. I'm a little concerned because nobody has volunteered to do the women's basketball game tonight. And it's a 8 p.m. tip.
I know.
And I'm not trying to do an 8 p.m. tip.
I know.
Really not,
I did the 8 p.m. tip last week. I know.
No, I did it. The women's basketball one?
No, the men's. The men's was at 8 p.m. too.
Yeah, I did the women's one.
They were both at 8 p.m.? Oh, my God.
I did an 8 p.m. tip for women's basketball. I don't remember who they played.
Man.
Maybe it wasn't last week.
Both at 8 p.m. Jeez.
Maybe it was the week before.
8 p.m. tip-off should be illegal, though. Like, let's just put that out there. And, like, it sucks because, like, no matter who does it, whether it's me,
we all get up early.
Brian or Jeff, we all have the exact same shift. Like, their mornings, Brian's morning show, Jeff over at Louisiana Radio Network, us here, we do the same show. Like, it's just, it's not good. It's not good news.
I'm trying to think when it was or what game it was. It was like a Thursday. They had an 8 p.m. tip.
I remember that. So that was 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago. I believe so. Because I don't think LSU women's played a midweek this week, did they? I think they had that long week, and then they played South Carolina Saturday instead of Sunday.
Yeah.
But whatever. Midweek games suck. And midweek 8 p.m. games are awful.
Which, speaking of, remember last season for baseball, I did a midweek Nichols game.
Okay.
Nichols is coming up.
Remember?
Wait, do you remember that? And it was like the longest game ever because Nichols beat LSU.
That's the one that got rescheduled, right? Like it was initially in Nichols and they moved it because it was like
it was cold
15 degrees or something. Yeah, and they moved it later into the year.
And then we lost.
Okay.
If I remember correctly.
No, that sounds right. Because
it feels like one of the ones where it was like we dropped a midweek to Nichols and everybody was like, oh.
And it was also like halfway through the year. Like it wasn't early in the season either. So people were losing their minds. No, that was Nichols. That was Nichols. Yeah, it got rescheduled.
Because it either went to extras or it like dragged on forever because they kept score. It was something and it was bad.
I think that was the game they threw like 8 pitchers last year.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. Braxton, how we doing?
Doing good.
Did you catch any of the game last night? I know you you had a long one yesterday. You were here till AFR, right? You were here till 6.
So about 6:30, I'd say.
No thanks. By the way, thanks for picking that up because I was going to pick that up if you did not. So shout out to you guys. A little disappointed with Scream Unseen last night. Be very honest with you. The movie was good. It was How to Make a Killing with Glenn Powell. It comes out, I believe, this Friday. Either this Friday or this Saturday. Okay. Great movie. Like, I really enjoyed it. So the plot of it is he is like the distant relative of a really rich family called the Redfellows. And there's like a fortune and it's all going to get passed down, to a bunch of different people. And he decided one day he wants the fortune to himself. So he's going to pick off his other family members one by one, but, make it look like an accident.
Right.
It was a good movie. I don't really know why it was called Scream Unseen. Like there was really nothing remotely scary about it, but it was a good one. We enjoyed it. If when it comes out, go see it. I don't really remember anybody else in the movie as far as like big name people, but Glenn Powell did a good job, and like of course he's in a big time movie because, well, that's all he ever does is getting big time movies. So that was a lot of fun last night. We'll probably do it again. Got home good time. I mean, I got home 9:15 from a 9 o'clock movie because it was right down the road. So Not terribly late. We had everything done pretty early yesterday anyway, so good time there at Scream Unseen. If you haven't done that, go do it. I think they do it once a month at AMC over there on O'Neill. And then Movie Tavern does one, but it's all genres. It's not just a Scream Unseen. It's Mystery Movie Monday. So it's fun. Me and Victoria, this is our 4th time doing it, and we've had a great time every single time we've done it. A little bit of bad news to get to, or sad news, I should say.
Real quick before you get to that, I looked it up. It was Nichols, and I remember this too, that I was like, please let it be a run rule.
It was not.
It was a run rule, but Nichols
right.
run ruled us 13
right.
to 3 in 7 innings, and none other than William Schmidt was out on the mound to start. Remember?
I think
and then,
you sent us a text in the OTB chat. You're like, I'd like a run rule, and we were like, well, you didn't specify which team. So.
You got to be real careful when you're asking for something.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
No, that was when Schmidt just like, God, his control was all over the place. That was at that point last year.
5 hits.
I think he had a lot of walks though too, didn't he?
Actually, no walks, but 3 strikeouts. It was the 5 hits that did him dirty.
Okay.
Then DJ Primo came in, walked 2. Jaden Newt walked 2.
Okay, I remember this game now. Yeah. Nobody had it that night.
No.
What was the final?
13 to 3.
Oh, man.
Gosh.
It's okay, they got it this year.
Yeah, hopefully it's not 13-3 tomorrow night.
I mean, they won versus them, I think, like later on or something.
Yeah, they played twice.
Yeah.
God, 13-3. That's ugly there. Maybe that wasn't the reschedule. One of them was rescheduled. Whichever one was later in the year was rescheduled.
I think that one was the early one because it was cold. I remember It was cold.
Yeah, it was supposed to be at Nichols. It was like 20 degrees or something by first pitch. So they canceled it.
Yeah.
So anyways, a little bit of sad news to start the show. Obviously, you guys know we got this Jonathan Moxon jersey on the desk right now, and that's because they're going Thursday, James Vanderbeek, or Wednesday evening, but we talked about on Thursday, James Vanderbeek passed away. Well, yesterday afternoon, I saw the news around 1 o'clock. I'm not sure when it exactly broke. Robert Duvall, legendary actor, passed away yesterday at the age of 95. Very rarely do you get to use the term like icon and be correct. Robert Duvall is an icon. I mean, think about some of the roles he played. He was Tom Hagen, the family friend in The Godfather, one of his best roles, one of his earlier roles. I mean, I'll always remember him as Gus McCrae in Lonesome Dove. If you've never seen Lonesome Dove, I don't know what you're doing. Go check it out. I mean, he's in Open Range with Kevin Costner. Like, think about the roles he's in. Kicking and Screaming. He's Will Ferrell's angry, sports-crazed dad who kicks his nephew off the team. Remember, him and Will Ferrell have the back and forth. Like, that's a little bit of a lighter-hearted role for Robert Duvall, but it's a great role nonetheless. It shows his range. Like, honestly, my favorite. Like, everyone talks about Secondhand Lions, him and Michael Caine, great movie. He's in Gone in 60 Seconds. I know Jacob Hester's seen that one because that's a Nicolas Cage flick. I think of Robert Duvall probably a little bit differently than most people do. Like, the first movie that comes to mind, and maybe it's because I watch it once a year, but Four Christmases. Robert Duvall, if you remember, in that movie, plays Vince Vaughn's dad when they're bouncing around from Christmas to Christmas. It's one of the first houses they go to. And it's Robert Duvall and Jon Favreau and Tim McGraw are the 2 older brothers, Dallas and Denver. And then you have Vince Vaughn, who we learned's real name is Orlando in that movie. And Robert Duvall is like, oh, you were named after the city you were conceived in. It's my favorite Robert Duvall role. He's hilarious. Vince Vaughn's on the roof. He bought him the brand new fancy satellite. He's like, there's nothing wrong with my old TV. And just starts yelling at him. Vince Vaughn falls off the roof and the satellite's hanging by a cord. And Robert Duvall's like, that's it. That's the perfect picture. That's the one I want. And it looks the same as his TV did before they even hooked up the satellite in classic fashion. But I mean, just so many movies you can go through. We could spend this entire show, like The Natural, Roy Hobbs and Robert Redford in that movie. Days of Thunder. I mean, there's so many movies out there that you could look at and Robert Duvall is synonymous with. It's, I mean, the end of an era and 95 years old. You want to talk about a heck of a life. Robert Duvall, one of those lives. All right, we'll cut the opening segment a little short here. When we get back, we'll break down LSU baseball. They got a big win over Kent State, and then a little bit later on, me and Alondra are gonna see how correct Hunt Palmer may be. So on Friday before first pitch, he put out 5 bold predictions for the 2026 LSU baseball season. 1 week in, we'll see if Hunt's going to be accurate or not in those 5 bold predictions. We'll do all that a little bit later, but all that coming up here on Off the Bench.
Off the bench.
Dos Equis,
They don't have issues.
they don't have any issues.
They help.
I actually
Do you have any
think
issues?
like tomorrow is maybe the best Dos Equis day.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have a great meal, and you're gonna have football for the rest of the day with no other responsibilities. Right? I mean, feet up, watching some ball with some family and friends around. Go for Dos. Come on. I mean, it's right there. It makes all the sense in the world. You're going to have a utopic experience when you go for Dos on Thanksgiving.
That's right. It's you kick your feet up, and then look, we got so much football all weekend. We got Egg Bowl, we got Tigers, we got Saints, we got everything. So make sure it's a Dos Equis type of weekend. Make sure you get it today because store's probably closed tomorrow. So make sure you're getting your Dos Equis today. Get it in the fridge, get in the ice chest, get it ready for you and your family. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Go for Dos Equis.
Tigers turn talkers. This is Off the Bench.
We all know hard work, not just a slogan. It's a way of life, and that's exactly what you get with Pala. Founded right here in Louisiana, proudly 100% employee-owned, something we always want to remind you about. Pala has been delivering industrial construction, specialty services, and power solutions since 1973. So from heavy industrial projects to safety services and advanced specialty applications, their companies serve critical industries across the Gulf Coast and certainly beyond. So when the job demands precision, safety, and experience, Pala delivers every single time. Employee-owned means every project matters, every detail counts. You can learn more about their full family of companies at palagroup.com. That is P-A-L-A group.com, palagroup.com.
Well, they say that famous and notable people, when one passes away, it comes in threes, and boy, does it. Alondra literally just informed me of this like 2 minutes ago. Jesse Jackson, civil rights leader, politician, minister, a man that wears many hats. He has passed away at the age of 84. It looks like CNN put this out about an hour ago, so right before we came on air. Jesse Jackson, gone at the age of 84. So
It's 4, because Catherine O'Hara died.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Is it going to be 4s now?
I don't know.
I thought 3 was insane.
Right?
Well, rest in peace to Jesse Jackson. Rest in peace to Robert Duvall as well. No easy transition out of that. But before we get into baseball, let's go ahead and get this show started.
It's time to get glowing, courtesy of GoFlow Ivy Spa, where hydration, vitamins, and a summer-ready glow are always on tap. Now, for starters.
So your LSU baseball team took down Kent State last night by a score of 10-7. And if you didn't watch the game, you're going to look at that 10-7 score and be like, well, LSU really struggled. First thing, LSU had 2 bad innings. That's all it was. Second, look at the number. I mean, we broke down yesterday what Kent State did over the weekend. They scored 33 runs against a pretty decent Southeastern Lions baseball team over the weekend and swept all 3 of those games. This is a Kent State team that knows how to put up runs. But when you go look at it inning by inning, I mean, LSU's cruising through the first 2 innings. They put up 1 in the first. They put up a 3 spot in the second. So it's 4-0 going into the bottom of the third, or the top of the third. Jaden Nude has the start. He's doing really well so far through the first 2 innings. It just kind of collapsed on him in the third. I mean, his final stat line, 3 innings pitched, gave up 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. But the first 2 innings, he was really good. It was that third inning. So it's 4-3 at that point, but LSU plates 3 in the bottom of the third to make it 7-3. LSU cruises the rest of the way. I mean, it's 3 straight innings where you scored a run and you prevented Kent State from scoring a run. So you extend it 10-3 at that point. And your bullpen's looking really good. After Jaden Newt, Ethan Plog goes an inning. No runs, no hits, strikes out 2, walks a guy. Devin Sheeran comes in. He continues to be electric. Alondra mentioned him yesterday as one of the standout guys over the weekend. I mean, Devin Sheeran, 1 inning, 2 strikeouts, no hits. I mean, he came in there. He did what he needed to do. Maverick Rizzi, an inning, no runs. So, I mean, those 3 guys right there in that 4th, 5th, and 6th inning really settled things down for you last night against the Golden Flashes. And in the 7th inning, you went to 2 guys and neither of them had it. I mean, that's what it boiled down to. You had a DJ Primo. He only goes a third of an inning, gives up 2 runs, a walk, gets a strikeout, but then you pull him out to the 2 runs. You put in Grant Fontenot. Grant Fontenot got a save for you on Saturday. Grant Fontenot was good for you over the weekend. He just wasn't last night. Again, a third of an inning, 3 hits, 2 earned runs. He was pulled. But the good news is you've gone to Gavin Guidry twice in big moments this weekend, and he has came up huge in both spots. You go to Gavin Guidry to get out of that 7th inning. He does, and he shuts the door on Kent State in the 8th and 9th inning. He goes 2 1/3, 5 strikeouts, did not give up a hit. Obviously, no runs as well. Gavin Guidry continues to be huge for this baseball team. I have loved everything I have seen from Gavin so far. When you look at kind of how the scoring went for LSU, Jake Brown is a bad man right now. 2 home runs on Sunday, including that grand slam that we talked about a little bit yesterday. He launched 2 more homers last night, again, for his 2nd consecutive game. Mason Braun, the DH, he gets his first home run in a Tiger uniform. It was a 3-run homer in the 2nd inning. First baseman Zach York, he gets a solo shot. He had a home run on Friday. His first swing of the bat as a Tiger. That's his 2nd home run of the year. And then I mentioned all the relief pitchers in this game. Going into that game yesterday, Mason Braun was one of the guys I wanted to look at, but kind of for a different reason. I wanted to see where they were going to play Mason Braun in the field. They did. He wound up continuing to DH, but look at what Mason Braun's hitting right now. After last night, Mason Braun batting .300. Pretty good for your opening 4 games in a college uniform. If he could lock down that DH spot, that'd be huge for the rest of the lineup, because I know Jay likes to tinker here and there and put a couple guys in different spots, but if Mason Braun locks down DH, your lineup's almost set. You had Curiel batting in the leadoff spot again last night. Derek Curiel's going to stay there. He was 1 for 4 last night, but he's batting .375 so far. That's who Derek Curiel is. Really, when you look at average-wise, Stephen Milam is the everyday starter on your team that's struggling the most. And it's kind of like we talked about yesterday when Zach Cowan struggled. I don't care if Stephen Milam's struggling early in the season, because I've seen him be super clutch for 2 years in a row now. Not worried about Stephen Milam. He's going to come around. And I say struggle, he's still hitting .267. That's just a little bit lower than everybody else in the lineup. Obviously, Jake Brown, 3 for 5 last night, 2 more home runs, 2 RBI. He had that 6 RBI, 2 home run game on Sunday. So Jake Brown, hottest hitter in baseball right now. You'd be hard-pressed to find anybody hotter. Kate Aaron Beatty's batting .412. I'm going to continue to say this. Seth Dardar is going to lock down that spot at second base. He played it again last night. He went 1 for 2. He's batting .400 through the first 4 games. The interesting thing I saw last night, Stanfield apparently has this sort of lingering injury. It's nothing serious. It's not going to keep him out long term, but Chris Stanfield did not play last night, and it was actually Tanner Reeves who got the start in left field. I was wondering, are they going to slide Mason Braun in there? He can play a little bit of outfield. Is it going to be one of the other younger guys? It was Tanner Reeves. So they're moving him around a little bit, and he delivered. Tanner Reeves goes 2 for 4 with a run scored and RBI. He's hitting 500 on the season. He was down there in that 8 hole last night, and he did a nice job in the outfield. So the depth on this team, pitching wise, fielding wise, it's incredible. And Alondra and Jake coming into the season had mentioned Jake Brown as And, a lot of people have thrown out Jake Brown, but I'll give them credit. They had mentioned Jake Brown as like, hey, watch this guy. He's oozing with potential. Alondra, for the first 4 games, not bad overall for our guy, Jake Brown.
I mean, you can't really complain about all the home runs that this man's hitting. But yeah, I mean, it was just kind of, you could kind of see it last season too, and it was just kind of a matter of time for him to like come into his own. And he's been with the program, older vet, and we mentioned this, I think it was last week. He would get playing time, but he never really had like a chance to like really, really shine.
Well, he didn't have a position either.
Right.
Like they played him at first a few times, then in right field. Like he kind of bounced around.
Yeah. So yeah, great for Jake. Very happy for him. He deserves it, and he's worked hard. And he also is another one that looks like he put some muscle mass on.
Yeah, he looks big.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about Curiel. I think they said I think McDonald said on the broadcast 12 to 13 pounds with Derek Curiel. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same.
Yeah,
for
they're
Jake Brown.
putting work in the weight room.
Well, you
this
mentioned it. They all
offseason.
look huge.
Mm-hmm.
Like outside of Stephen Milam, who I mean is
But he's also jacked.
he's jacked.
Yeah.
He's just short.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean Milam's jacked and he's one of the best players on the team. But me and Braxton were actually talking about it before the show started. The energy that LSU brings when Zach York simply steps into the batter's box is electric. I mean,
How about when he had that stolen base?
oh,
It
dude,
was
we got a
electric.
text from Alondra last night. Big boy stolen base. I mean, and I had just left the house. I just missed it.
Yeah.
And I looked down at my phone. I was like, gotta be Zach York.
He made 2 really good catches at first base too. He made a pick, and then he had the one where he had to like jump off the base to get the ball, but put his foot down in time to get the out. That I'm like, how is this big old dude so agile? But also, as someone who was slow when I played softball, I was also a really good base runner. So like you could be slow but still know how to
For
run
sure.
the bases. And LSU is 4 for 4 on stolen base
I
attempts
will say
so
he
far
had
on
the
the season.
perfect pitch though. Like it was it was to the dirt. So I mean, he had a good head start. If it was a pitch,
Yeah,
straight
it
to
was
the
like a
catcher, it would've
pass
been
ball,
out.
yeah. But yeah, the fact that he can hit like that, but is also an elite first baseman. We were so worried about Jared Jones. Tried to tell y'all, do not be worried. This man he's gonna do what he's got to do, and love Zach York.
Zach York, people don't realize, I believe it was 997 fielding position, fielding
I think it was
percentage.
993.
993
Yeah.
at Grand Canyon last year. Like, think about how good that is. A lot of people will see Zach York, they'll see his build. I get it. And they'll be like, oh, he's going to go in there. He's going to DH for you. He's going to bat in the 4 hole.
Yeah.
That's it. He's not going to do much else for you. Like, Zach York is a plus defender. I mean, we just threw that number at you, 993. That's incredible. I mean, there's not a lot of first basemen out there that have that number. So, like, don't let the build fool you on a guy like Zach York. He has been incredible so far at first base. And, it's so funny when you lose a guy like Trey Morgan, like, in my opinion, still best defensive first baseman LSU's ever had. You think there's going to be a big hole there. Jared Jones, the jump he took from when Trey Morgan left to his final year here at LSU to now Zach York, it's a lot like third base. Like we had talked about it with Jay Johnson at third base after Jacob Berry left. Remember, Jacob Berry came in Jay's first year, and he was a one and done. And then you bring in Tommy White. Everybody saw Tommy White. He's a big guy. They were like, okay, he's going to be your DH. He's going to hit a lot of homers for you. But Tommy White at third base, and Tommy White's first year at third base, he was an adequate third baseman. He was solid. Tommy White's last year at LSU, he saved and won games for you over there at third base. He was a plus defender at the hot corner. Jay Johnson has a knack of bringing in these guys that he knows can turn into something defensively, and it's a sight to see. I mean, he's done it with Jared Jones. It looks like Zach York, which Zach York was already really good when he got here. He did it with Tommy White. So when you see these guys in the field, they're there for a reason. I mean, we talked about the hitting of Mason Braun. Mason Braun was the number 1 first baseman coming out of high school last year. Mason Braun's good enough to play first base on this team. Jay Johnson and staff just trust Zach York that much to go out there and do it, so they put Mason Braun at DH. Like, the athleticism of him and what this staff is able to do with guys like that, very, very impressive. And, again, the LSU Tigers, 10-7 victory last night over the Kent State Flashes. They will take on Nichols tomorrow night in Alec Box. Tomorrow night, or tomorrow afternoon, 1 p.m.
Yeah,
I should say. 1 p.m. first pitch, kind of an early midweek game there. But we'll take a timeout when we get back. Hunt Palmer on Thursday, leading up to the opening weekend, put out 5 bold predictions for LSU baseball in 2026. You can read it on LouisianaSports.net. Me and Alondra are going to go through those 5 bold predictions, see if they're come true or was Hunt completely off base. We'll talk about that next here on Off the Bench.
Off the bench.
All right, go to trashrangers.com if you're signing up for residential commercial trash pickup. If you are signing up for a roll-off dumpster, maybe you're doing some spring cleaning coming up and you need that, you tell them what you've got. They'll make sure you have the right size dumpster. If you are looking for a portable toilet, maybe you got an event going on and you want to have that delivered to you, picked up, they can do that every single time at Trash Rangers. So again, go to the website trashrangers.com, trashrangers.com.
Yeah, if you got a business and you're maybe you're not happy with your current trash pickup, maybe it's hard to get in touch with the customer service over there. I've been there. I've done that. Give them a call. Let them know how they can help your business. They are the experts when it comes to trash removal, and they can customize their pickup schedule around your business. What time of the day? How much trash you make? Is it 1 pickup a week? Maybe it's 6 pickups a week. It doesn't matter. They can fit the project to your specific job site. And residential, roll-off dumpsters, you name it, the most reliable trash pickup or trash removal service in Louisiana. TrashRangers.com.
From the locker room to the airwaves, it's Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
All right, go to getgordon.com. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Truly the place to go if you have any question. A live agent's actually going to pull up right there on the homepage of the website. So any question you might need to ask them, it can be answered right there. But also, you can see cases they can handle in the courtroom, past client results. All that information is on getgordon.com. It's always going to be at Get Gordon on all major social media as well. So Facebook, Instagram, X, whatever it might be. And then we always say it every single day, no matter where you're listening to us in Louisiana, put your area code followed by 888-8888. Get Gordon and get it done.
That's right. Get Gordon and get it done. GetGordon.com. If you have been injured, whether it's a car accident, whether it's on the job site, whether walking down the street, it doesn't matter. Give them a call and just start the conversation. Tell them about your case. Tell them about exactly what has happened. And then they go out and they fight for you. They've been doing it a long time because that is what they do. They get people in Louisiana exactly what they deserve. GetGordon.com.
All right, welcome back in. Tuesday edition of Off the Bench. Taylor Sharp here with you. Alondra Villarreal, Braxton Rizzuto as well. Hunt Palmer, before the season, it was actually last Thursday, on LouisianaSports.net, put out 5 bold predictions for LSU baseball in 2026. Now, they're bold for a reason, but I got to be honest. I was looking at these last night. I think a couple of these bold predictions may not be that bold anymore after the opening weekend, and they might actually come true. All right, the first one we'll break down is the first one on his list. LSU pitching leads the SEC in strikeouts through the regional round. Yeah, Nate Yeske's 2 for 2 on that. LSU's led the SEC in strikeouts both years Yeske's been here. But they don't have an individual pitcher in the top 3 in the league.
Okay.
In terms of strikeouts. So as a staff, they lead the league
that
in
actually
strikeouts.
Makes sense for what we have right now, but I think Cooper Moore will give him a run
if
for his
Cooper
money.
Moore goes 11 Ks per game, I don't know if
But also look out for Auburn.
Yeah. Auburn's staff.
Auburn's pitching staff is always pretty good. Tennessee will always give you a little bit of competition as well, but Auburn, their pitching staff looks pretty good right now. I know it's early in the season and they're playing like whatever teams, which I'll say Kent State and Milwaukee less, but Kent State is a really scrappy team.
Kent State can hit.
Yeah,
they scored 33 runs against Southeastern.
Yeah.
And I don't care that it's Southeastern. Like they're only a pretty good baseball program, but that's 11 runs a game over a 3-game period. You scored 7 against LSU last night. Like they were 3-0 coming into that game. I do like Hunt's description here, though, or reasoning behind it. He said, Yeske did it with Lou Coleman, Gage Jump, and Griffin Herring 2 years ago. Last season, you had Cade Anderson and Anthony Hyenson. Said the difference is you had 2 elite starters, not quite the bullpen depth, because right now it kind of looks like the opposite. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got Cowan, Rizzi, Sheeran, Gavin Guidry. I mean, will Cason Evans remain a starter? Will he go back to the bullpen? Like, we'll see what happens there. But, I mean, Cooper Williams, if he's not a starter. So I kind of agree with this, but I'm with you. Cooper Moore would be the one.
No, I agree with it, but I would watch out for Cooper Moore to definitely be one of the leaders.
All right, the second one on here, 4 pitchers earned multiple saves. I mean, Gavin Guidry got one last night, and Grant Fontenot had one on Saturday. So, I mean, we already got 2 pitchers with a save. I can see that happening because, look, Sheeran looks like he could be dominant in the back end.
Yeah.
We've seen Fontenot already do it. Gavin Guidry's going to be in the closer role at some point, whether it's a setup guy or that true closer. Zach Cowan. I mean, he did this a number of times last year. He didn't really do much in the first weekend. You didn't ask him to do that much either, but Zach Cowan's a guy that could come in high leverage situations. I think that this actually does come true. I don't know about you, but I actually think 4 pitchers will earn multiple saves. I mean, we just threw out 3.
Again, because of the first one that we said, like the depth is a lot different on this team than it's been. I can see that happening too. It's already like Gavin Guidry. Didn't he get one on?
He got one
Friday?
last night.
Well, I know he got one last night. Did he get it on Friday or no?
He may have. I know Fontenot got it on Saturday.
Gavin went out earlier Friday.
That's true.
Yeah, you're
That's
right.
true.
He was one of the first ones out, so he got it last night.
Either way, I think that yes, that can happen.
The third one, not really a bold prediction anymore because of what we saw on Saturday. Cooper Moore will get 10 SEC starts. Yes, as long as Cooper Moore is healthy, he's going to be a starter in this rotation. Is it always Saturday? Is it Friday or Sunday? Doesn't matter. Cooper Moore is going to start on this team. I mean, you saw what he did at Kansas last year. Really strong in the preseason. Like, that's a guy that Jay Johnson talked about and raved about him every chance he got going into the season. It's one of the reasons a lot of people were so confident that Cooper Moore was going to be a starter in this rotation because you knew about Kason Evans. You knew he was going to get his shot to start. And Jay Johnson, anytime was asked about starting pitching, Cooper Moore, one of the first names out of his mouth. Every single time. And every time a coach does that, you know the guy's making an impact out there in the fall scrimmages, and it showed up week number 1. So, I mean, I think that one's a given. Cooper Moore will make 10 SEC starts. I don't think there's any question about that. Okay, here's the next one. Here's where I think Hunt's wrong. And I agreed with him. I read this on Friday when he put it out. I agreed with him on Friday. I don't now. LSU will have 6 guys hit 10 or more home runs, but will not have a player hit 20. I was with him going into the season. But hell, if Jake Brown can keep doing what he's doing, I mean, he's got 4 in the last 2 games. And I get it. It's Milwaukee and Kent State. The competition's going to get better, but he's there. I mean, he's right there at 4 right now after the opening weekend. Jake Brown's on pace to do that. Does he get to 20? We'll see. I mean, Alondra last segment mentioned how he looks like he's gained weight. He looks like he's got more power, and he was a guy that, was already a pretty good hitter a year ago. The thing with Jake Brown, remember last year all they talked about was Jake Brown struggles against left-handers. That's what everybody said. That's why he wasn't in there in the lineup. Right now, I believe he's only faced a few left-handers. He's 1 for 2 against lefties this year. If Jake Brown can figure that out, he's going to be in this lineup every single day. I think Jake Brown could hit 20, at least so far after what we've seen through the first 4 games of the season. Now, I agree. I think there's 10 guys that hit the 10 home run mark. Alondra mentioned it last week. Well, she kind of brought up the Moneyball phrase. I saw Hunt do that on Friday as well. It makes a lot of sense because you don't necessarily have to replace Jarrett Jones with a guy that's going to hit 20 plus, but Stephen Milam could do it. He could get to 10. Zach York probably will get to 10. Look at what Kate Aaron Beatty's doing so far. We just mentioned Jake Brown. Seth Dardar has some pop in his bat. We've seen that come to fruition here early on. Mason Braun got his first home run last night. He's got power. And then, Derek Curiel, people kind of forget last year how many home runs he actually hit just because you see him at the top of the lineup. He's a slender guy. He's a freshman. You're like, okay, this guy, he's a speedy guy. He's going to get hit for contact. He's going to get on base. Derek Curiel hit 6 home runs last season as a freshman, and he's put on 13 pounds of muscle. Why can't he improve by 4 home runs? I don't see why Derek Curiel can't do that. I think that's actually likely to happen. I think Derek Curiel does get to double-digit home runs. I mean, I could totally see 6 guys getting to that 10 home run mark. The thing is, though, so Hunt's half right on this. Jake Brown could get to 20. If he keeps hitting the way he is going to eclipse that 20 home run mark. And you kind of need a player like that. Like, look, I'm all for the 6 guys with 10-plus home runs because, look, a home run's a home run. It doesn't really matter who hits it. But when you got that one guy that when you need a big hit can come through, if that guy turns out to be Jake Brown, that makes this lineup that much more dangerous. Because I think everybody 1 through 9, regardless of who's in there, where they're at in the lineup, is going to be able to hit. I think Jay's put together a deep enough roster to where you don't have to worry about, is there really a quote-unquote weak point in the lineup? So far through the season, not really. But if you have that one guy in your lineup to go along with all those good hitters, opposing batters fear can take one over the fence at just the swing of a bat, then that makes your lineup that much more dangerous. That way you can pick and choose where you put Jake Brown. You can slide him in there and be like, oh, we can bat him in the 4 hole. We can put him at the 5. Jay likes to have a power bat in the 2 hole a lot of times. If you could move him around and he can keep doing that, that'd be huge for your team. So I do think LSU gets 6 guys that hit 10 home runs, but Jake Brown could be that player to get to 20. And then the final prediction Hunt had, Mason Braun will get more than 3 postseason at bats. Now, I'll give our guy a little bit of a pass here because you're probably thinking, well, yeah, that seems obvious. I mean, he started day 1 at DH. Hunt said, I do think he's got a chance to become a left-handed bullet on this team. He said, if he starts opening weekend, then the boldness of this prediction takes a hit. He said it's 30 hours before the lineup cards turned in. I don't know if Braun will be in it. If he is, the boldness kind of goes away. If not, watch out for Mason Braun as a weapon coming off the bench for this team. Mason Braun's going to get more than 3 postseason at bats because I think Mason Braun's going to be your everyday DH if all things hold. He's been in that spot for multiple games now. He looks really good. And again, I mentioned it on Monday. He's a guy that can play in the outfield. He's a guy that can play. He was the number 1 first baseman in high school baseball last year. He can move around a little bit. So heaven forbid somebody goes down with an injury. I'll slide in there to first. You can move somebody else around. I can slide out there to the outfield, move somebody else around, and he can DH. He's going to get more than 3 postseason at bats, provided he stays healthy. I don't think there's any question about that. So what Hunt got right, Mason Braun's going to get more than 3 postseason at bats. I think he's half right. I think 6 guys will hit 10 home runs, but I think Jake Brown could make that 20 home run mark. We'll see how that falls. Cooper Moore is going to make 10 SEC starts, provided that he's healthy. 4 pitchers can earn multiple saves. The one to me, the boldest, the LSU leads the league in strikeouts, but does not have an individual pitcher in the top 3. Alondra mentioned watch out for Auburn. They got a deep staff, and LSU does as well. But the way Cooper Moore is playing, if he continues that throughout the year, he can go 6 innings, 7 innings, get you multiple strikeouts. I get that the competition is going to get tougher, but he was really good all last season at Kansas. There's a chance that if this staff is as good as it could be, Cooper Moore's also in there in the top 3 in strikeouts. So, again, that's one that's kind of half right. But, I was looking at this last night. I originally saw it on Friday before the season started. Now, I wanted to revisit it because it was like, these probably were bold before the opening weekend. And I don't like to do much of an overreaction. I just kind of wanted to look on where things sit as one weekend happens. But I was looking at it and I'm like, I don't know how bold these are anymore. I mean, I think a lot of these are kind of right on the money. We'll see if they hold, but not bad right there as far as the bold predictions go. All right, we'll take a timeout. When we get back, LSU announced a new partnership as far as a jersey patch goes. We'll quickly talk about that next here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench. From the locker room to the airwaves, it's Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Welcome back in. Final segment, hour number 1 here on a Tuesday edition of Off the Bench. Taylor Sharp, Alondra Villarreal, Braxton Rizzuto here hanging out with you here this morning. LSU Athletics announced yesterday there's a new official legacy partner of LSU Athletics, and it's Woodside Energy. So Woodside Energy, that logo, it's going to be on all 21 of LSU's competition apparel. And if you know anything about Woodside, they're offshore energy. They've been working offshore in Louisiana for over 2 decades, and they pour a lot of money into the state. They just finished a $17.5 billion investment decision on its Louisiana LNG project. So they, more than anyone, want to see this state thrive. And Matt Moscone on AFR actually did like a 30-minute sit-down with one of the members of Woodside Energy yesterday. Gave you the whole spiel. You can go back on Twitter, Facebook, AFR, YouTube, any channel like that, and go watch that full interview there with Woodside Energy. A lot of people have a lot of different thoughts about this logo. Some say, oh, well, I hate it. It's ruining LSU athletics, and you're going to look like a NASCAR, a WNBA logo. Some people are fine with it, and, I'm fine with it. I don't really see the big deal. Like, some of LSU's most iconic moments have come in bowl games, have come in national championships. You got a bowl game patch right here on your shoulder, depending which one, and the purple Nike check on the other side. I don't really see the issue, especially since with what Woodside Energy did. So their normal logo is red and white. They changed it to purple and white to match the LSU uniform and to not clash with it. I don't really see an issue with this. I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there like, I would love to know Hunt Palmer's stance on this. And I'm sure Hunt's good with it too. I know, he likes to be the uniform guy and everybody gives him crap about it, but I'm good with it because it's going to bring in money to the university. It's a step in the right direction and it's historic. I mean, you don't see this at all in college athletics. The NBA started doing it a couple years ago as far as like having that one signature logo patch on their uniform, but LSU, they're going to be, at the forefront of this in college athletics, and that's how LSU is. They're at the forefront of most things. I mean, they have the NIL LSU sign that you saw in Times Square a few years ago. I mean, everything, all the changes going on in college athletics, it seems like LSU is always either spearheading that approach or somewhere right there in the top, and that's why LSU's been able to navigate this, and their programs have continued to thrive. I mean, look at some of the programs in years past that were really good before the NIL and transfer portal era that maybe aren't there. I mean, look at the coaches that have stepped away. I mean, Tony Bennett at Virginia. Tony Bennett at Virginia said, well, my system, my program takes 3 to 4 years to get the hang of it. If everybody's going to be one and done in college basketball, I'm out. I mean, Tony Bennett left college basketball before the age of 50. But LSU is bringing in the right people, and they know how to get out in front of things like this, and it's paying off in a big way. Because whether you like it or not, that Woodside Energy logo, it's going to be one of the talks of college football during LSU's first game. Because everybody's going to see it. Everybody's going to realize that LSU is the one that started this movement, whether you like it or not. And so I think overall it's a pretty good thing. Again, all 21 of LSU's competition apparel throughout multiple sports will feature the Woodside Energy logo. Okay, before we go to break, guys, it's Mardi Gras. And I'm not a big Mardi Gras guy. I've told you that parades aren't really my thing. And that remains true. I mean, I haven't been to a Mardi Gras parade in, I think I was a freshman in high school the last time I went to a Mardi Gras parade. I mean, it's been a minute. But I was telling Braxton before the show yesterday, like, hey, you know where Mardi Gras originated? And he's like, oh, yeah, right here in New Orleans. Nope. How about Mobile, Alabama, Braxton? How about that? People in New Orleans, they don't like to hear that.
I refuse to believe it.
Well, it didn't originate in Mobile. Let me back up. It was European, like medieval days. That's where it originated. First celebrated in America in Mobile. Now, do they do it as big and as wild and as raunchy as New Orleans? No. Never. Nobody does in really terms of anything. But, Mobile, Alabama, 1699. The first recorded celebration. I'm sorry. It was brought to America in 1699. The first celebration, 1703. Now, I have been to a few Mardi Gras parades in the state of Alabama. I was telling you, we used to go on vacation and we'd get caught in traffic on the way up there because we would always leave here because all the tourists would come here for Mardi Gras, right? So if you live here, we would always go somewhere else. And we got caught in it. It was actually on Beach Boulevard right there in Gulf Shores in the Orange Beach area. We got caught in a massive Mardi Gras parade. They have one in Daphne. It was like an old fire truck parade. They would bring out all the antique fire trucks. They did another one in Foley. And it's so funny because the people out there get so hyped up for Mardi Gras, and you look at it and you compare it to what we do here. It's just not even on the same level. It's not even close. So, was Mobile first? Yes. Does New Orleans do it better? Absolutely, yes. So, really no competition there. New Orleans still the king of Mardi Gras. I hope everyone out there that is going to Mardi Gras parades have a good time, but stay safe out there. There are crazy people in this world. All right, that'll pretty much do it for hour number one. Coming up in hour number two, want to hit a quick LSU football segment. One of the top running backs in the country, highly considering LSU, and he's actually a local kid, and I'll tell you why. Having Lane Kiffin as the head coach of this program is perfect for moments like these when you're trying to land an elite running back. We'll, of course, have OTB mailbag at 8:15. Get your questions in the comment section on YouTube. We'll bounce back and forth on that. Patrick Wright, the voice of the LSU Lady Tigers, will join us at 8:30. He called all 3 LSU baseball games over the weekend and that women's basketball game versus South Carolina on Saturday night. Busy guy over the weekend, and I didn't think he was busy enough, so he's going to hop on with us. College football has a new member of the Mountain West that will start immediately. So as of July 1st, 2026, there will be a member of the Mountain West, and Normally it's not a big deal, but when you hear which program it is, it might come as a little bit of a surprise. But I actually think it's long overdue. Hour number 3, Nick Underhill of New Orleans.football in his normal spot. Look, I keep hearing the name Jeremiah Love. Is that a serious possibility for the New Orleans Saints? I know there's a lot of people out there that would like it. There's a lot of people out there that would hate it, one of which, Matt Flynn, that normally sits right up here on this desk. Maybe give you a little bit of an Olympic update. LSU thought they were losing a staff member coming back after originally announcing he was going to the NFL. Then we'll close it out with Saints. We'll do Ask the Bench. We'll do all of it. That's all coming up. So we got a busy hour 1 and 2. Again, coming up on the other side, we'll have LSU football and then Patrick Wright at 8:30. Stay tuned. Hours 2 and 3 of OTB coming up next.
Off the bench.